Hi, everybody. It's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology, and today I have channeled Gene Hackman. And Gene Hackman, it was the 95-year-old Hollywood actor who passed away in February. And so, when he first passed away, it was very mysterious. I think it's still kind of a mysterious death, although they have basically said, he died from either heart disease, I believe. But him and his wife died around the same time. She died first. There was a dead dog, a deceased dog in the house. And there are a lot of rumors going around that he may have been kind of going through something, right? And there was this mysterious man who went to the house, and supposedly there are tunnels underneath his mansion, underneath his mansion in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So let's go ahead here. And interesting to know about Gene Hackman is that he was a triple Aquarius. I was like, wow. So I've seen a lot of doubles, right? Double Cancer, double whatever, but not really triple. So right away, that makes him very unique for sure. He probably had some type of a rebellious streak in him. He did leave Hollywood, and he said, he didn't want anything to do with Hollywood once he retired. So there are some rumors that, may or may not be true, right? That he, I don't know, had some kind of squawks or, kind of arguments with people in Hollywood, and I'm not sure of that. So, Um, but yeah, they say that he did. And also, with this triple Aquarius, this makes you rebellious. It can make you very different. And, although Aquarius rules like the 11th house of social groups and networks, sometimes Aquarians, they may have a lot of friends, but at the same time, they may be kind of reclusive. Yeah, it's very interesting like that. They can be inventors and just kind of all by themselves on their own, kind of just, they're different, they can be, right? Um, and very intelligent, usually Aquarians, right? I got to throw that out there for sure. And this is why a lot of them are inventors and scientists and things like that. But they really dance to their own drum, very unique, detached, a little bit of detachment because they're air signs. Um, and so, yeah, so that could have really been him because they were reclusive, him and his wife both. I feel like they went into town a little bit, but I don't feel like they had much of any type of a social life. His wife was 30 years, almost 30 years younger than him, which is really interesting. And she passed away, um, from hantavirus, but she passed away like, I don't know, a week before, 10 days, something like that. But it's still mysterious because a dog died in the house and these tunnels and just things like that. So I haven't, really checked about everything on him. I haven't, watched all these videos and everything. I just know a little bit, but I wanted to go ahead and channel his energy for you guys. Yeah. And so the first thing I got with Gene was I saw him shoveling cement blocks into a station wagon, like an early 70s model. Now, they don't make station wagons, I don't believe. Now it's, SUVs or, those types with the back on it. But he was shoveling these really heavy, like cement blocks. So there was something heavy that he was really trying to unload in his life, maybe just from his conscience, right? Um, and interesting too that Gene owned a white, I think it was white, but a Toyota truck, and it had a cabin top on it. I forgot what they call those that you just put on the back so you can, I don't know, sleep in there or whatever you want to do, or put your skis in there, things like that, or your items. But he did drive a truck with a cabin on it. So I thought that was interesting. All right, so when he was lifting these really anxious, when he was lifting these heavy blocks into his vehicle, he was really anxious, and he didn't want anybody to see him doing it. Like, I need to get this done quickly. And I feel like he was just hiding something but he was really trying to unload it, and he didn't want anybody to know. That was the whole rush of it. I have to hurry up and get these blocks into my car before anybody shows up. And he was, I believe, in front of his house when I saw that. That's not really relative. I don't, well, I don't really believe it is so much, but it was just him he's trying to unload something, and I do believe it could have definitely been his conscience. All right, so he may have been hiding something. And yeah, and it could have been hiding something from himself that he finally accepted about himself. I mean, he was 95, and they say that when he passed, they say that he had an advanced stage of Alzheimer's. But, when I get these energies, that that could have been him months before or a year before, or but that was his, and this is his energy, right? It doesn't have to be in actually in the later days of his of his advanced Alzheimer's. So this is just his energy showing up for me sometime, I believe, before he really kind of had that advanced Alzheimer's. So there's something he was either hiding or something that he wanted to kind of lift off of his chest, and maybe both. All right. So he could have been hiding this or holding this, keeping this for decades as well, because those cement blocks are damn heavy, and there was really a lot of them. So yeah, I feel like it was probably about something he either didn't want to face or something that he had to deal with, like just for a long time, that maybe it was hard for him to deal with. It's something it's connected to that. Then I asked him what that meant, and he showed me a big tree. It looked just like the tree of life, and he lifted it up with pride. It's almost as if I can get these off my get these heavy bricks kind of blocks off my chest, then I can like evolve. Or it could have been connected to his family as well, because he lifted up the tree for me, and he was happy and proud that he had lifted that tree up. And so this tree of life, which that's how it came through to me, was most likely some evolution. It could have been also that he connected to his family, because family roots, because the tree of life, it does, for me, that's what it signifies. All right. Um, I feel like whatever he was kind of lifting off his shoulder too, had something, he was sad about something, sad, and he felt kind of weighed down by it, and he wanted to, relieve himself, basically release this. He didn't want to carry it anymore. And the other thing I got from him is that I got like this message that somebody was trying to cheat him, or somebody was hiding something from him. And it may have been not just one person, a group of people. I feel like he felt kind of, there was something about him that felt like imposed upon by somebody. And, he was writing too, they found in his day planner, they're watching, and he wrote that twice. So, I'm not sure who he was referring to, right? And so, but we don't know whether or not he wrote that in a time of like advanced Alzheimer's, right? We don't know if he may have just been paranoid with that. So, so that's not clear, right? No. Um, but I believe he was hiding something. I really do. Or he wanted to keep something very personal hidden about himself. And he didn't want somebody to know, or a group of people for sure. And he also acknowledged to me that he had been stubborn in his life, and that he refused to accept something about himself. And now he was beginning he had reached the point of accepting that, right? And then the next message that came in was that, before his death, he was worried about Betsy. Now, Betsy was almost 30 years younger than him, which is, it's a lot. And she did pass about a week or 10 days before him. They say that she passed from hantavirus, and, I've never heard of it, but this is what they're saying. And he was anxious for her to get better and like return to the doctor, I believe. If this is how I was feeling, and this is the messages that I got, right? Um, but they're saying too that maybe he didn't realize that she was gone, because she passed prior to him because of his Alzheimer's. So the night before she passed away, they enjoyed a nice dinner. And I saw them. They were watching TV together, and he had been looking at some family photos, uh, you know, and so he was also concerned for his dog. Yeah, and so one of the dogs died too, and they kind of couldn't figure out. I feel like they know now. The dog might have died possibly from starvation. I don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, but there were three dogs on the property and only one had died. And the other two dogs were kind of running around the property when they found them. Um, but he was like concerned for the dog that the dog needed something. At the time of his death, or maybe months, even months, I'm not sure, kind of leading up to that, he was thinking a lot about his mother, and his mother was supported him, supported his career. She, influenced him about like having the courage and go and do this. So he really appreciated his mother, and so. Yeah, let's have a look at his chart here. I have it actually right here. Let me make this bigger for you. Um, yeah, there we are. All right, so here he is with his triple Aquarius, right? Which really makes him unique. It makes him like nobody else because they're already unique. Yeah, Aquarians are already unique. And so here we have the sun and the moon here together. And this is his rising sign, Aquarius as well. So everything's here. He was born at the time of the new moon, right? This is the new moon when we have the sun and the moon together, which is really interesting because, his mother, maybe she had known intuitively, like, you can do this because the new moon is, you can be an actor, you can go, and make your fortune because a new moon is about something very hopeful and planting seeds. So that's very interesting. All right. And then also, what was I looking at here? He has Chiron over here in his fourth house. And, this is the house of family. And he, supposedly he didn't have him and his daughters. I feel like they had a relationship, but there's some type of like strain or something like that because he had admitted that he was not really there for them growing up because he was always, on location somewhere like shooting a movie, after he got into his, really busy years. I feel like he was busy for a long time as well. So here he has Chiron in his fourth house. Uh, yeah, it can definitely be. Chiron in the fourth house can also talk about maybe you are kind of feeling worried about money and things like that. Chiron is it's about healing, but it's about our vulnerabilities and our sensitivities. Can be even be illnesses. It can, but here it sits in Taurus, and Taurus is about our money, our well-being. It's about our values as well. But he said that he was not home a lot because he was worried about poverty because he said he had grown up in, major poverty. So he needed to be working. He needed to really, push. That's how he felt. So this makes a lot of sense for him with Chiron here in the fourth house of home and family, and Taurus as well. Now, here's his ruling planet, excuse me, Uranus. It's right down here. It's in Aries too. This also, Aries is the self. Aries is represents the first house of self, right? When we're born, this is the most important things. Our rising sign, we're born. This is the person that we are. We're coming into the world as this person, given this natal chart, given these, basically our life path is, it's not really set, but it is kind of laid out for us, and we can do what we want with it to a certain degree. We can shape shift, right? We can shape shift our fate and our destiny. But he's got Aquarius in, not Aquarius, Uranus here. That's his planet too. And over here in Aries. And this can talk about, maybe he felt that he kind of, his life was always full of change. He might have felt at some point kind of maybe, went through some times of instability. He definitely, especially maybe with Chiron over here in the fourth house. But this Uranus in Aquarius, that makes him very unique as well. It makes him different. It makes him inventive. It makes him, that kind of lets him go out and have the drive to really invent himself. That's what that is And that's what he did. He went out and invented himself, right? And became, I think he won an Academy Award twice. He also has Pluto over here in Cancer. And Pluto in Cancer Pluto's about ordeals. It really depends. It's a generational planet, but still, sometimes we see Pluto showing up in Cancer. Cancer is the home and the family. It's the emotional, it's our mind and, how we process things emotionally. So here he's got Pluto. This can be a lot of kind of ordeals. This is also about the truth, Pluto. But it can be ordeals within the family. It can be. And I know that he kind of, as I was saying, like with his wife, not his wife, but like his children, and I don't know much about him and his wife, but his ex-wife, they were divorced, right? Let's look at his eighth house. I really want to see here here it is. Neptune's in the eighth house. Well, that's making him super spiritual, but it is in Virgo. It's very interesting. So he may have been a little bit of a worrier, it's possible, with, Neptune showing up in Virgo. Yeah, it's kind of not seeing the details very clearly. He might have been a little bit of a worrier, and it's possible because they're saying that he was some people are saying that he was kind of paranoid, right? About some people, like he had secrets about some people, like not wanting the best for him and things like that. Um, yeah, and so he's, also just, he's got the South Node. This is about the past lives and things like that. It's in Scorpio. Scorpio, it can be about ordeals. It can be about things that are hidden. He probably had um, a lot of things that he was holding on, maybe from past lives, even here when we see the South Node in Scorpio. That's because Scorpio is also about past lives. It's about death and rebirth. So we see this here. It's very interesting right here. And so, yeah, he's also got in the fifth house, we see Jupiter in his fifth house. Now, Jupiter is, ruling Sagittarius, but it is about expansion and, believing in what we're doing. It's about making everything big and dynamic and great. And so here he's got Jupiter in the fifth house of entertainment. So we can see here why he was such a, so well known and, Academy Award winner twice, right here with Jupiter showing up in his fifth house of entertainment. And very interesting there too. It's also in Gemini, so uh, can talk about him being, kind of pretty analytical here. Yeah, analytical about his career because he did have that entertainment fame. So I'm going to end this right now, but I wanted to say one more thing about Gene. Gene was concerned about money. He left $80 million behind, but he was concerned about money or some assets that he held. Maybe what to do with the money, right? I'm not sure if he left that $80 million to his daughter. He has two daughters. I'm not really sure if he did. He may have, but he was concerned about money or some assets he held, and he'd been checking his records. I saw him checking his bank account and checking his records and accounts prior to his death. And there was also they're saying that there was somebody who was basically kind of a man who showed up and that wanted him to take something. Don't quote me on this, but take some alternative medicine or something like that, and that there's some kind of like secrecy, like, surrounding this man. Now, if you know anything about him, you can always, put it in the comments. But something about the man was, yeah, wanted him and Betsy to choose alternative drugs or something like that, or natural remedies. But this is somebody who was like supposedly not trusted, like there he has some type of a background. So if you guys want to go check that out, you guys are free to do that. But I did want to come on today and just yeah, and channel his energy, yeah, and show you what I've gotten or what I got after doing that. Thank you so much for joining me here Yeah, please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you'd like to get your own chart analyzed or any type of a reading, psychic reading. Everything's in the description box. Thanks so much, guys. Please hit the little bell in order to get all my notifications. Thanks so much.